Hey, Circle. New message to Aisha. Hey, Aisha. You seem like a pretty cool girl. We should hang out sometime. Hashtag family for life. Send message.
So, welcome to Just the Tip. This is Aisha and Mike, your hosts. And if you recognize what Mike is saying, you too have been binge watching Netflix's latest reality show, The Circle. It's basically like the internet come to life. Mike, what do you think?
What did Joey do wrong?
Okay, Mike obviously is method acting his favorite character. Who's your favorite character in the show?
It's gotta be Joey. If it's not Joey, who's your favorite character? Somebody's gotta tell me. There's no one better than Joey. Hashtag we're family for life.
Okay, so Mike has his racehorse, and I would say that my favorite character so far is Chris. I think he makes the show more entertaining because he is so authentically being himself in front of everyone, and I really respect that. And I think he has good energy. He's someone everyone loves. Shuby's also really cool.
I actually like Shuby the best.
But do you think Shuby knows, like, is he an actor and we're all getting scammed, or does he not know that he's in that type of show?
Shuby is currently kind of falling in love with a man, and he doesn't realize it.
No,
not that
they're
falling
like
in love
sisters.
with a man
They're
is
like sister. It's like his sister.
Wrong, but he has no idea.
No, he loves Rebecca, who's being played by Rebecca's boyfriend, Seaburn. So Shuby's like into Rebecca, but as friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it just breaks my heart because he seems so innocent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real star of the show. Michelle Buteau is the host, and she's one of my real life favorite comedians. I just love her, and her voiceovers are so amazing because she's so much, I don't know, it's just candid, talking shit.
Very witty.
Oh, it's like, it's very intimidating. Someone that witty, you just like don't want to be a joke around them. Yeah.
Okay, so anything else about the show that you like?
I really...
Oh, yeah. What is it? Okay, it's like Big Brother, but they put everyone in separate rooms and they can only communicate through voice-controlled chat.
Yes. And something that a friend mentioned when I was talking to him about it, he said that he felt really bad for the interns who have to type out all the messages. And I hadn't even thought about how they were getting the messages sent to one of them. I don't know. I just assumed that like it was voice recognized.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But the way they ask for the emojis, I don't think there's an AI exists that will like serve you the right emoji when you say, hey, do like the shrug shoulders, hands to the side emoji. I don't think that exists yet.
Yeah, it doesn't. And so I'm excited. I'm watching. Mike has started to reluctantly watch with me.
It's on in the house and I tolerate it being on. It's like not the worst thing for me to see.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
There's worse things that Aisha will put on the TV where I have to leave the room.
Like what? Oh, Vanderpump Rules.
That or Real Housewives.
Yeah. Okay. Basically Bravo.
Almost anything on Bravo.
Or E.
I'll just leave the room.
Yeah.
I can't hear it.
Even some HGTV, you can't even handle that.
I think I can handle.
Only if you like have Reddit on your phone.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not going to like pay attention. But I can tolerate it.
But this has been a show that you have enjoyed watching with me.
Yeah, I'll watch it if it's on.
Okay, so
I'm not going out of my way to see it.
Oh my God, you just quoted Joey already a couple of times, but
well, Aisha, we gotta go to the gym sometime. You and me, a couple of dudes hanging out. What could be more fun?
Okay, so aside from that, the biggest thing that is happening in the world in the last couple of days has been #Megxit, which is Meghan Markle and her husband, Prince Harry, chucking the deuce to the entire royal family and that horrible life that they were, experiencing over there with all the sexism and all of the racism and the hate.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
I'm really happy for them. So
I think it's amazing that they spent 6 weeks on Vancouver Island, West
Which
Coast.
you've been.
It's not far from here.
And you've gone fishing there.
Yeah, so I've been there. And Vancouver, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to like find a way to sell everything and buy a plot of land up there. I mean, It is incredible. It's like you just really take like the most beautiful parts of Washington coastline and then remove all of the human element, and that's what you're left with on Vancouver Island. It's beautiful. Just
Yeah.
nature. And they were there and then came back to society and were like, fuck this, mate. Do you think Meghan says mate now?
No, I think she says help. I think that the thing that I think is amazing is that a couple of months ago, they had the interview where she thanked the reporter for asking how she was doing, because she said that not many people had been asking about how she was handling things. And something that all people can relate to is being under stress and just having the power to choose your mental health and prioritizing your physical health and sanity. And I really respect that they're doing something that is not, I think realistically, it's not easy to step away from something so large and so much bigger than them, but they're really doing it, and kudos to them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, imagine saying no to an allowance that's like in the millions of dollars. But
I don't even think it's just the allowance. I think that it's the infrastructure within which you're born into. It's like bigger than them, and it's, if you look at, we've been watching The Crown,
it's
and
an
it looks
institution.
It's an institution, and we've been watching The Crown, and it looks like a fucking shit show. It looks like absolute nutty hour. Third cousins who've been married for the last 400 years or whatever the fuck it is. It's like nuts. And imagine being like a regular, like, kind of like celebrity in Hollywood, but Meghan Markle like was an actress, but she would not get bothered on the street. You know what I mean? Like, she had a life, and going from like knowing what a real life is like to being in this fucking zoo with these racist ass people and these weird ass like traditions, and it's all fabricated. I'm sure that, and it's like hella racist. Like, let's just stress that. It's like, come on, what do you do?
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that people already knew about the family, but like the public way that they're handling Prince Andrew.
Oh, I mean,
it's like another shining star of how fucked up.
The fact that they care more about two millennials wanting to move away from their family and raise their kids somewhere, they care more about that than they do an actual like sex offender pedophile in the family. And it's like, okay, this is a hot ass mess. So let's get our things and get the fuck away from here. For sure. Like, no. So anyway, what would you do, Mike, if you were in that position, if you were like royalty and because you're very family? I feel like, would you choose me, or would you, if we were in the exact same situation?
If my family was trash, it'd be like, I think I could probably come to the same conclusion that he came to.
Yeah.
Luckily, my family's not trash, so I'm not in that situation.
No, and I think the thing that's really cool to see is that you see, yes, they're celebrities, but you really just see a husband standing in support of his wife and a wife standing in support of her husband. And it's just two people really trying to stay true to themselves and find their true north. And I respect that. I think it's really a cool thing to see play out.
Yeah, and imagine like...
Well, let me not say cool thing to see to play out. It's very tragic, but it's like you can find inspiration from the tragedy.
Yeah, and imagine maybe he's wanted to separate himself from the family
all
his life, especially, with how his mom was treated and everything. Imagine he's always wanted to do that, and then finally someone came into his life that had the power and the wherewithal to like encourage that and actually make it happen with him.
Yeah. I think that you said it right, that a lot of people have been blaming her and saying, oh, she put this idea in his head. He's a 35-year-old man who like has had his own life and own experiences, and that is a family unit, but it does a person a disservice to think that they don't have a strong enough mindset or opinion to make their own decisions. And much like you said, Mike, I think that you could safely assume, based on interviews and things he said, that like he would be okay with walking away from this life, having to opt into that stuff.
He probably just maybe never had like a vision of what it could look like or how to execute it, or and especially if he's on his own, it's a lot different versus having like a stable partner.
Well, especially when you have your 90-something-year-old matriarch grandmother with her fucking foot at the back of your neck telling you what your duty
Bend the knee.
Wrong show.
Bend the knee.
Your duty and your service.
Take your punishment.
Yeah.
Take your punishment.
Are you done?
All right.
Are we good?
All right. We're good.
Okay, so I need to put Mike in improv classes. So anyway, I think what's going on with him right now just is really sad to see, but at the same time, I think it's a beautiful display of watching individuals prioritize their actual sanity and mental health. And it's a good reminder for you out there that you are in control of your life. You get to decide each day what you want to opt into, what you would like to opt out of, where you want your energy to go. And I think it's important to know that it's never too late to decide to prioritize your mental health, your physical health.
You know, and imagine like some people are in a toxic family and they don't see a way out or don't have the ability to get out.
Yeah, there's people in toxic families, toxic jobs, relationships, religions. There's all sorts of things that are happening. And so I think it's important to just know that you do each day have the choice and, you know, put together a plan and go for it.
Hopefully you have the choice.
Hopefully you have the choice. Speaking of choice and things that we are opting into, we are getting married this year, which is very, very exciting. But I'm like definitely the weak link when it comes to wedding planning. I feel like you are just either chill and you don't care, or you tune in if it's a budget thing. Otherwise, you're on your phone just like playing Jeopardy or whatever.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I want my role to be. I just want to make sure I know if we're in budget, and other than that, we're good.
Yeah, and
I'm being Kendall from what's that show? Succession. We're good. I just want to be the money guy in this situation.
The money guy. And you want me to be the person who eats shit so you don't have to know about it.
I mean, you don't have to eat the shit. If you want me to choose colors, okay, we'll have like green and brown, sure.
I just rolled my eyes.
The eye roll that the whole world heard.
No, but it's just, I found it very stressful. So if you all have any tips on how you manage your stress during wedding planning, and we're planning a wedding for under 20 people, I feel like I would lose a patch of hair if it was like larger than that.
Yeah, and I definitely see how people get these budgets that balloon up, because it's so easy once you start down that path to just start adding stuff and be like, oh, well, now we got to get this, and then you got to buy that, and it adds up so fast.
And the real funny thing is you don't have to do any of that shit.
You don't have to do any of it. You don't have to do a single thing.
I think that there has already been like 6 times where I've said I wanted to just go to the courthouse. Like I want to just elope or go to the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you say when I do that?
Well, at this point, I say, well, we're not going to do that. We already have a kind of a plan in place.
Yeah, I know. Like there's already like things that are being done.
We actually already kind of paid for half the Airbnb where it's happening. We're doing.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good. And since Mike has been losing so much weight, we have to wait until 3 months before the wedding to get him a ring. But I think that's kind of funny. Little known fact. If your weight's fluctuating, your ring may be an issue.
People, I'm okay. I've been stable now.
Yeah.
I've stabilized.
You've stabilized, but you just never know. And the ring that he wants is like a really cool wood ring that just can't be resized. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really resize.
You can't let your body
rings.
go. You're gonna have to hold on to this body of yours. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
What else? What else is what's going on in your world?
Well, I just watched The Young Pope, HBO. Jude Law. He's like just this crazy man who comes into the church and tries to take everything like really far backwards. So that's been fascinating. I like things that are like critical of organized religion. So it's fun to watch that kind of stuff.
You also like The Last OG.
The Last OG with Tracy Morgan. You guys, we almost never had any more Tracy Morgan in the world.
Yeah. And
he survived and is like, he's in his career again, and he's making comedy, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, you sound like it's like a love letter to Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan is the shit. I mean, he's amazing.
This is like a really cute fanboy moment.
Yeah, okay. I'll stop.
The show that I'm watching that I really like right now is Cheer on Netflix.
Cheer.
And so it's
Sure.
actually really cool. Mike keeps calling it like the Hard Knocks, my version of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, it's like your version of Hard Knocks.
Oh, not Hard Knocks. That's the wrong show. That's
Hard
on
Knocks.
HBO.
Yeah, HBO's Hard Knocks, where they
No,
follow
not
the football
them.
players.
I'm talking about what's the one on Netflix with the really sad
Last
kid?
Chance U.
Last Chance U. Yeah, you've been calling it my version of Last Chance U.
No, I called it I've called it your version of my Hard Knocks.
Oh, fuck. Never mind. Anyway, it's a really good show, and it goes into these community college cheerleaders in Corsicana, Texas, and they are one of the best cheerleading schools in the country. And it's really interesting watching their stories and how they got there. So if you want something to binge that's, really touching.
When I watch the show, I think of like from the 80s when they would show the videos of Russians training for the Olympics, and they have like 2-year-olds doing gymnastics. When I see that, I think of these cheerleaders and like the images they show of the cheer camps with all the really little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how like we as a society, we're just pumping out cheerleaders instead of like I mean, we are pumping out gymnasts, but it's just this cheer machine. I never knew it existed.
So the way that those images looked like of them in their camps and all those special classes, I remember growing up and going to gymnastics and like having to get dropped off at the gym and how much money it costs for everything. And now that I'm an adult, I don't understand why my mom signed me up for anything other than dance. Like I liked dance, but like the fact that she paid for violin lessons, she paid for a fucking flute, she paid for softball, she paid for soccer. It's just like, no, kid, figure out some arts and crafts, like do some other shit. Like I wouldn't want to pay for a kid to do anything.
Macaroni necklace.
Take some popcorn and string it on this thread.
I never did that. Did you actually do that?
No, I saw it on TV.
I've only seen that on TV.
I like wanted to do stuff like that, to the like corny shit you saw on TV. I used to want to do that stuff with my family because it made me feel like normal.
I only wanted to watch TV.
You only wanted to watch TV and eat and drink soda.
That's all I ever wanted to do.
Oh, wait. Tell the story about your grandma when you were at your grandma's house. She was like alarmed by the way you ate.
Well, it's just we'd go visit my grandma in the summertime in Iowa, and I got there and she's like, sees how many sodas I'm trying to drink in a day, and she's like, you can only have 2 sodas a day. And my mind was blown. I did not understand that one could only have 2 sodas in a day.
It's just like crazy to think how we ate as kids and how we eat now. And it's like, is the damage done? Like, is there saving us? Is this like a pivotal time?
Okay, they're finding evidence of the very, very beginning specks of evidence of heart disease. They're finding them in elementary school kids.
So it's too late for us.
The jury's still out. We could reverse it with diet and lifestyle, but if you don't change however you're eating so heart disease is the #1 killer in America. Obesity is hitting young kids. Heart disease is probably starting out when we're really little. So if you don't change your diet, you're probably going to get heart disease.
And that is Michael's medical minute.
And that's my tip for the week, everyone.
You're probably going to get heart disease.
Here's Joey. Let me tell you, we're friends for life.
Okay, and outside of that depressing news, it's been real.
Yeah. Okay, have a good week. If you were on the circle, would you catfish or would you play yourself? Let us know.
Do you know what you would do?
I would play myself.
Why?
For sure. Because I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up the charade for that long.
I think that you couldn't just play yourself with texting though, because you wouldn't say anything and you would be someone they would think is like a scammer or really weird. You would not have any connections, no relationships.
Yeah.
You would just be walking around, scratching your balls and cooking food.
Yeah.
And literally the running joke would be that they could use no footage because you'd be scratching your balls too much.
Like my hand would always be touching my private areas, and they'd be like, Mike,
they just blur it.
We can't use this footage. None of it is good.
None of it.
You're constantly touching yourself.
Yeah.
You have to stop touching yourself.
Your pictures would be lit though, because I would have taken your pictures. So the pictures would be popping, but they would for sure not match the conversation you'd bring. So they may think you're fake.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
think I'm fake.
why is he using this dude's photos? Oh,
I'm a bad communicator.
I forgot the most important thing. the most important thing about watching this show has been the fact that you're quiet as a mouse. You don't say anything. Then all of a sudden I noticed that for the white male characters on the show, you started saying little snide remarks about them. And I was like, excuse me, who are you? Like, why are you saying this? And also, why are you only saying it for them?
Well, I think subconsciously they are my direct competition.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, I let it slip. I had plenty of things to say about the other characters.
Well, then I opened up a can of worms because then he was like telling me everything he thought.
For some reason, I just felt entitled to say bad things about those ones out loud.
Yeah. It was funny. It was actually really funny. And if I had to go on the show, I would definitely just play myself. I think that it would be 50-50 whether I would immediately get kicked out or if I'd last to the end.
I think you'd make it to the end.
And I've also thought about a strategy. Like, what if you were in there with some people that you knew? Like, how do you keep them? Like, who do you decide to have? And it just made me think that what if at the end of the game, the people who were kicked out are the ones who are voting on who is actually going to be.
Plot twist?
Of course. I was thinking, oh my God, we're really like intuitive to these shows. And it's like, no, we came of age when reality TV was created. We just think like this shit because we've been taking it in for so much of our lives.
I think like a reality show TV producer.
Listen, you know I think like a fucking producer.
I think like a producer. I could do this. I could cast for this show.
I could literally cast.
I could be casting for this show. I think like they think.
For anyone who thinks that Mike doesn't keep me humble, this is evidence. No, but seriously, I was into it, and I think that at the end of the episode, like at the end of the series, they're going to have maybe their final two, and the discarded cast or maybe the public are going to live maybe vote on it. And so it makes you think like, damn, who did I actually form relationships with?
Well, if that's the case, can I make a public rebuttal for my expulsion? You all know and love me. I'm a family man. I'll see you at the gym.
Hashtag what?
Hashtag love is life.
Okay, thanks for listening.
Okay, thanks for listening.